So I know some of y'all are probably wondering how the hell did Kiko get a gun pulled on him? Almost shot in the face and have to outrun somebody. Well, so you see shade? I like shade. Shade is good. So I found shade because it was way too hot for the dogs to be sitting in the sun while I was waiting for my next order. I wasn't paying attention to whose trailer or what trailer was there or who was going to park there or anything else. I didn't give a fuck. It's not my business. I'm minding my own. So while I'm minding my own business, parked in the shade, I see three dudes. I see one dude pull up, and he's all pissed off that I'm in the shade, I guess. I'm not real sure. But I guess he thinks he owns the whole block or something. But so I'm sitting in the shade, and the dude comes up, and he comes up on the driver's side, and two guys on the passenger side looking in the passenger side window. And I was trying to ignore him. I'm on my phone. And the dogs started going off, so I started holding the dogs back. And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Yeah, so this is the second time I've seen you in my neighborhood, and I'm wondering what you're doing right here." And I said, "Minding my own business." I said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, asking you where you're from. "Where are you from?" I'm like, "From Earth." He said, "Yeah, I get that, but where are you from?" So I'm from Earth, dog. I said, "What's up?" And I said, "I'm minding my own business, trying to wait for a delivery. I ain't bothering nobody." I said, "Mind your own business too." He's like, "Well, this is my neighborhood." And he said, "You understand, Playboy?" He said, "I know where you're from." I'm like, "Dude, I told you I'm from Earth. That's where I'm from." And he's like, "Nah, I know where you're from." And he's like, "Well, check it out. This is my neighborhood. You're in San Pedro." And he's like, "I keep seeing you around here. I'm gonna shoot your ass." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, motherfucker." Like, "Whatever, dog. Get the fuck out of here." I didn't say. I was like, "Just whatever, dog." And he's like, "All right." And so he thinks he's funny. He's gonna go back and laugh about it with his homeboys. They go back to the car behind me, or the car in front of me that was his car. And I'm watching them and stuff, and they're sitting there laughing and clowning and shit that they just pulled a gun on me because he had a gun behind his back. I saw the gun, and I was just laughing. And I'm like, "All right, whatever, man." And he went back to his car, and they're all laughing and stuff, and like, "Ah, ha, ha, you check that fool, da, da, da." So I got pissed off, like, "Fuck this guy, man. You gotta run up on me with the gun and two guys. That's some bitch shit. Yeah, like, if you're gonna have a gun, run up on me by yourself, homeboy." But he had two other dudes, and he was trying to show off, so he's laughing and shit, and he's like, "Ha, ha, 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 the fuck that guy, da, 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 da." I'm like, "Man, I ain't come over here for all that." So I said, "Fuck this shit." I started my car, and I was irritated, so I took off fast. I said, and skidded out. He got pissed off, and he fucking was already in his car, so he took off after me. Well, I didn't see him behind me, right? So I pull up to, I start going to a stop sign, and I see him behind me, so I took off faster. Well, this motherfucker took off faster too. So I'm like, "Man, I'm not gonna be cruising to this motherfucking neighborhood speeding and shit with motherfucking kids behind us, and our kids in the street, and people walking across the street and stuff with dogs and stuff. Like, I'm gonna end up running someone over." So I slowed down, and I stopped at the stop sign, and I waited for him to pull up on the side of me. As soon as he pulled up on the side of me, he took his gun out and he pointed it at my face, and he's like, "I'll fucking shoot you in the face." He said, "I'll fucking shoot you right now." Like, I said, "No, you won't." Boom, and took off again. And as soon as I took off, I look over to my left-hand side, and there's some kids and shit right there playing and stuff. This motherfucker was about to shoot me, but he was about to shoot some kids that were behind me too. So, like, I guess the kids seen him or whatever. Everybody started freaking out right there in that neighborhood. I drove around a couple times and looked and saw everybody right there looking at me like, "Oh my God, that was crazy. You got a gun pulled on you." Like, man, I ain't worried about it. So I drove past again, and dude's gone. I'm going down to the park to enjoy the shade. Next thing I know, I see my police everywhere. I'm like, "Oh man, let me get the fuck out of here, go deliver this food." Like, that's what I was trying to do, is make money and deliver food in the first place. Like, fuck this shit. So I go deliver to Starbucks. Cena, come here, go inside. I go deliver Starbucks, right? Well, when I get back from delivering Starbucks, the spot that I park at, there's all his homeboys and a couple of his homegirls, and he got more homegirls than he had homeboys sitting there at the park. It just shows what kind of neighborhood he was from. His homegirls had his back more than his homeboys. But so he's sitting there at the park, or his homeboys are sitting at the park, and his homegirls are sitting at the park and shit. But look, come here. his homegirls are sitting at the park and they're all staring me down. Everybody's all staring me down and stuff. I'm like, oh man, this motherfucker got his whole neighborhood over here watching me and shit. Like staring me down and shit. Like, man, this ain't even worth it. Like, hurry up, let me get the fuck up out of here. I was gonna go to Oregon anyway. Like, I don't need all this drama. So I got my stuff and I packed it up and I took the fuck off. And the guy I was working with, Noe, working around. He's like, don't leave. He's like, man, I want you to do tow truck stuff with me. It's like, man, I can't do all this, bro. Like, I'm gonna end up bringing drama to your spot. Like, they're sitting there watching me and shit, and they were watching me for a long time anyway. So they were on one. You know, they didn't like me from the get-go because they had broken into my van, and I had caught them trying to break into my car one night. I caught one of them trying to break into my car one night, and dude grabbed a stick. I told him, you were trying to break in my car. I said, you go try to open the handle? He said, I wasn't trying to break into nothing. And he started tripping and shit. So I said, fuck that, dog. I said, what's up? And I ran up on him. I'm like, man, you try to break in my motherfucking car? I said, and then, what's up? And he's like, man, no, fuck that. He grabbed a stick and he walked past me. Like, you gonna do with that fucking stick? So I chased him in his gate. This motherfucker went in his house or his gate or whatever, his yard. He wouldn't come back out. So after that, it was already them watching me every night from the park, right? So I already knew they were watching me. I ain't go fuck. Like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm delivering food. I'm minding my own business, you know what I mean? So, yeah, they had their whole neighborhood. They had, like, all their little homies and shit. He couldn't fucking get his own back. He had to have his whole gang fucking sitting there trying to help him and shit. So I was just like, that's too much drama for this guy. This guy's trying to run a business here. You guys are over here trying to steal from his cars. Like, 2 nights before that, I had stopped some lady. She was going by opening all the car doors for the tow yard, and I had stopped her from breaking into the cars over there. And they were irritated about that too, because that was their get down, is breaking into people's cars and stuff. So basically, I was in the way of them breaking into cars and shit, and I was bringing too much attention to them by stopping them from doing it. So they needed me to go, and I did go, because I ain't trying to bring that drama to my homeboy's shop like that. He's got a little mechanic shop and a tow yard and stuff, and he's a good guy. He's a Christian guy, and he ain't trying to have all that drama. And he said he's gonna end up closing his shop and moving anyways now because of all that drama. And like, I wasn't trying to bring all that drama to his shop. Like, I wasn't there for that. I was there to deliver food, and I was trying to make my orders and stuff. But some cats are just like that, you know what I mean? And so that's the story of how most got shot in the face and chased around San Pedro by some fucking man boy, some grown man that was acting like a little boy.